Hello friends, welcome to MongoDB with C# Beginners Tutorial. So this is the 12th video of the tutorial series. If you're watching our video for the first time, you can find the playlist link and other video links of this tutorial series in the description. I suggest you to watch previous videos if you're a beginner. We request you to support us by subscribing the channel and liking the videos. Don't forget to click on the bell icon so that you will get notified once we upload new videos. We'll be uploading more video tutorials of latest technologies and techniques in software development, so stay updated. Now let us start the session. Okay, so for showing the demo, now I have created a new project. So in this particular video, we are covering how to do join with different collections. So if we are taking an example of normal relational database, say SQL kind of databases, we are having an option for joins. So how we can do the same kind of option or same kind of operation using MongoDB database, and MongoDB is having a function named Lookup for doing this join functionality. So let us see how we can do it. So I have created a new console application here. So first we need to set up the application. So I'm just right clicking on references and taking manage NuGet packages option. So in this, now you can see there are no packages installed. Now it is in installed tab. Now I'm clicking on browse and searching for MongoDB. We have already covered how to install MongoDB driver in a previous video. So I'm just showing it here again. So now we can see there is a package named mongodb.driver. This is what we have to install. So now I have clicked the install button. So now the application, now it is starting the installation. So there are some dependency libraries which will be added along with this MongoDB driver. But we don't need to install those libraries manually. We just need to install mongodb.driver, the one which we have installed, we are installing now. So the dependency libraries will get installed along with it. So in this list, you can see there are so many other libraries also getting installed. So this is the one we have. We have selected mongodb.driver. Rest all things are the dependency libraries which need to get installed along with it. So I'm just clicking on I accept. So now we can see all the libraries are getting installed. Yeah, now all libraries are installed. So now if I am checking the installed tab, you can see here there are a lot many libraries installed along with it. So now let us close the NuGet packages window. Okay. Fine. Now I'm taking the application configuration file. Okay, so I'm just mentioning the connection string here. Connection strings add and the name equal to, I'm giving it as database connection. You can give whatever name you need. This is my style of doing it. You can use your own name here which you need. And the connection string is equal to mongodb : / then my MongoDB database is installed in the same machine. So I'm using localhost here, and the port number is the default port number of MongoDB database, that is 27017, then / database name. So I'm giving the database name as sample2. Okay. So now we don't have a database named sample2 currently. I'm just opening Robo3D. So here you can see it is showing the list of databases. So this is the one we have created for the previous demo. Now sample2 is not yet created in our database. So, but we don't need to create it manually, as MongoDB will create the database automatically when we insert, update, or do some function in that database. So now first I'm creating a method, private static void connect database. Okay, so this is for just connecting to the database or creating the database object. So here first I'm getting the connection string from the application configuration file. So for that I need to use configuration manager. So in order to get the configuration manager, we need system.configuration. Yes, here it is. We just need to add this reference. Click OK. Okay, now we can add system.configuration. Yes, dot connection strings of the name. We have to give the same name what we have mentioned here. So I'm just copying it and pasting it here. Dot connection string. Okay. Now we will get the connection string value, what we have mentioned here. We will get it in this variable, connection string. It is a normal string variable. Okay. Now next, we need to declare Mongo client is equal to new Mongo client. So for that, we need to use MongoDB.driver. I'm just using it of connection string, the connection string what we got from the application configuration file. Okay. Now in order to get the database object, first we need the database name. So the database name is equal to Mongo URL dot create. We can use the connection string here. So dot database name. So this function will get the database name from this connection string. So the database name is sample2. So we will get sample2 in this variable as a string. Database name will be a string. So here we will get sample2. Now we are going to create the database object where database is equal to Mongo client.get database of, and here we have to give the database name. Yes, that's it. Now we got the database object here. iMongo database is the database object. So we will need this database object. Okay, I'll do one thing. Instead of a void function, I'm using iMongo database here. I'm returning iMongo database here. Now return database. Okay, fine. Now once we start the application, first I'm just I'm declaring a variable name. Database is equal to connect database. So this method will return the database object. So we will get the database object here. Now we need some model classes in order to show the demo. So I'm just creating two classes. The first class is country. Okay, I'll do one thing. I will create a folder here named models and just drag this country class inside models. Okay, fine. So inside country we need three fields. First one is the country ID. So this will be the unique ID of this particular collection. Second one is country name, and the third one is country code. Okay, now we are giving the attributes. So for first country ID, we are giving bison ID attribute. So for that we need to use mongodb.bson.serialization.attributes. I'm using it, so it has been added here. So bson ID is the attribute we need to mention for the unique ID field. So in this collection, country ID is going to be the unique ID field. So for that particular element or particular field, I am mentioning bson ID here. Now bson element. So here I'm just giving country underscore ID. So in the database, the field name will be like this, country underscore ID, completely in lowercase. Now bson representation. It should be object ID. So bson representation is the data type of this particular field in the database. So in database it will be in object ID, and in application it will be in string actually. So that's it for country ID. Now for country name, I'm just giving the bson element and the element name as country underscore name, and bson representation. For this field anyway, bson representation is not mandatory. Why? Because here in application it is in string, and in our database also it should be in string, so we don't need to mention this, but for understanding it clearly I'm just mentioning it, but this is not mandatory. Now for country code, again I'm using the same. I'm just changing country code here. So data type is string, everything is fine. Now I'm removing the unwanted unnecessary usings. Fine. Now under models, I'm creating one more model class named province. Okay. So for province, we should have two elements. One is the province ID, the unique ID field, not two elements, we need three elements. Second one is the province name. Okay. Now the third element is the country ID. We need to know under which country ID this particular province is coming. Okay. So to map the country ID, we are declaring one more element, that is country ID. Now here for in attributes for province ID, I am using bson ID, same as before. That is the unique ID element of this particular collection. And bson element, I am giving the element name as underscore ID. Oh, sorry, I think yes. Here I have given country underscore ID. Here we have to if we give country underscore ID, still MongoDB database will use underscore ID. Why? Because underscore ID is the default name for the unique field, unique identification field. So we cannot use a different name. If we give whatever name here, MongoDB database will use underscore ID as the ID field for the bson ID element. Okay, so we can use underscore ID. So here also I'm using the same. Now bson representation, here I'm using object ID, so the data type should be object ID in the database. Now for province name, I'm giving the bson element as province underscore name, and bson representation as string. So in database also it should be string. Now for country ID, the bson element name is country ID, and here we have to use object ID. In database, the field data type should be object ID, but in application we can get it as a string. Automatically it will get converted to string. Now one more thing here I just need to tell is we have not used bson ID here. So bson ID is the attribute what we have to use for the unique ID field. So in this particular collection, in province collection, we can say that province ID is the unique ID of the collection. Country ID is not the unique ID of this collection. Country ID is the ID for mapping the country. Okay. So for country ID, we don't need to use bson ID attribute. Now I'm just removing the unnecessary usings. Fine. Now we have country model class and province model class, both are created. Now, first I'm creating some dummy values to the collection. I'm inserting some dummy values, so static void insert values. I'm creating a method named insert values here. Now first we need to create some country, so I'm just declaring a country list variable, so that should be a list of country. Okay, and new country, so country code we can give it as US, then country name United States. Okay, then we have country ID, but we don't need to give it. Why? Because it will get automatically generated while inserting the data, so no need to mention country ID here. So I'm just creating one more country. Okay, here we can use okay, instead of GB I'm using UK, and country name as United Kingdom. Now next I need to get the collection, so here we need to pass the iMongo database as a parameter. Okay, so var country collection is equal to database dot get collection of country, and the collection name we can give it like this, country completely in lowercase, so this will be the collection name in the database. Okay, now we have created the object for the collection, and we are just inserting. We are using insert many method to insert multiple countries. So now we have two countries, so we are inserting both in a single command using insert many. Okay, so now in the main function I'm just calling insert values method and passing database object as the parameter. Okay, now once completed I'm just printing a message like process completed, please enter any key to exit. Okay, and console.read line. Console.read line is for not exiting the application automatically, so the application will listen for a key press basically. Now that's it needed for inserting the countries. Now let us run the application and check whether it creates the countries. Application is building now. So after creating the countries, we have to create provinces. So in order to create provinces, we need the country IDs. So once the countries are created, we will take the country IDs from the database and use it in the province. So now it is showing the process completed. So let us check in the database and opening Turbo3D and just refreshing here. Yes, you can see now the database named sample2 has been created, and inside that country collection has been created. Now when I'm viewing the documents, it is showing two records, so I'm just changing it to tabular view. So you can see now the country name, first one is United States and second one is United Kingdom, and these are the ID values. So I'm just copying this ID value, and this is of US and this object ID is of UK. Okay, now we are going to insert provinces. Okay, so for that I'm just removing the insertion method for the countries. Now declaring a new variable named province list is equal to new list of province new province, and province name I'm giving, say example, California, and the country ID we have to use US country ID, so here we have to use this as the country ID. Okay, now another province I'm creating under same US, so the province name, okay, it is Texas. Okay, now one more province under US, say Florida. Okay, now we can create the province under UK, so we have to use this object ID here. Fine, now the province name Scotland, and next I'm going to create another province under UK, Wales. Fine, so 5 different provinces, 3 under US and 2 under UK. Now here I'm declaring the province collection. It's equal to database.get collection of province, and the collection name we can give it as province in lowercase. Okay, now province collection dot insert many of province list. Okay, now let us run the application. So this should insert 5 different provinces in province collection. That is showing the process got completed. So I'm just refreshing the collection. So you can see now it got created, and 5 different, sorry, I'm just changing to tabular view. So here we can see now we have 2 ID fields. The first one is the unique ID field, that is underscore ID. Okay, this is a unique value for each document, and here we can see this is the country ID. So these 2 have the same ID of US, and these 2 have the IDs of UK. So both data type of these both fields are object ID, but here this is the unique ID field, and this is the ID what we have used for mapping the countries. Okay, so now we don't need the insert value method. I'm just removing it. Fine. So now we are checking how we can join these 2 collections, how we can use MongoDB lookup function to join the collection. So here we have to declare both collections. So first I'm declaring country collection, database.get collection of country, and the collection name is country. Now we need province collection as well. So here it is province, we have to use province here, and the collection name is province. Okay, so now we have declared both collections, country collection and province collection. Now we are going to join the values. So what we need to do is var, I'm declaring a new variable, result equal to country collection dot aggregate. So I'm joining with country collection, so dot aggregate dot lookup. Okay, just before that, just we have to declare one more thing in the model class. So I'm just declaring one more class under country, same file, country.cs. So here I have given the name country looked up. I will explain you what is the need of this particular class. So this class, I'm inheriting it from the main country class. Okay. Now this class will be having one more element, that is public list of province, and I'm just naming it as province list. Okay, so country looked up is the new class name, and I'm inheriting the entire country class to this new class, and so this class will be having all these elements, plus it will be having one more element, province list. Okay, now I am implementing the lookup function. So country collection dot aggregate dot lookup. So first we need to mention the country, that is the first collection, the country collection. This is the class name for the country collection. Okay, country. Now next we are joining it with province. So the foreign collection is province. So province is the class name for province collection. Now the result should be country looked up. Okay, so we have to mention these three class names: country, province, and country looked up. Now first we need to provide the collection for the collection to be joined. So for that, in MongoDB we will say it as foreign collection. So foreign collection is province collection. Okay, now local field means local. Now here the local collection is the country collection. We are joining province collection with country collection. So here country collection is the local collection and province collection is the foreign collection. So now here we have to give the field with which we are going to map these two collections. So a such that a dot country ID. So we are mapping with country ID. So in the local collection we have to use country ID, and in foreign collection again we are using country ID. There also we have the same name, country ID. So if the name is different, we have to use that name here. So now in our case both are the same name or same fields. So a dot country ID comma, and here it is asking for the foreign field. Here you can see the foreign field. Now it is asking for foreign field, and foreign field is also a such that a dot country field. Now we have to provide to which list, or here we have created a new list, province list in country looked up class. So to this particular list we have to populate the provinces of that particular collection which matches the country ID. I will explain you in detail, so you will get a better idea if we run the application, and I will show you how we are getting the result. So now I'm just giving to list here. Okay, so now if we are taking the result, the result is actually list of country looked up. So country looked up is the new class what we have created. So it will be having country ID, country name, country code, as we have inherited country here. Plus it will be also having a province list, that is a list of provinces. Now let us check how it works. I'm just creating a breakpoint here. Now I will show you what is the result we are getting from MongoDB database after lookup. So now you can see it has returned two records or two values. So the first record is having country code, country ID, and country name, US, and country name is United States. And in province list, there is a list of provinces. In province list, it has returned three records: California, Texas, Florida. So what MongoDB has done is inside US we have a province list. So inside this province list it will populate the provinces which is having the same ID of United States. Okay, now we can go to the example of United Kingdom. See, here we have three items in province list. one is Scotland and another one is Wales. So this is how a lookup function will return the value. Now here we can see this is not a flattened list actually. So here we have the countries, two countries. We have two countries in our database, and each country is having a list of provinces under that. Okay, so here US is having the provinces under US, and UK is having a list of provinces under UK. Okay, this is how lookup function will return the value. Now if we need to flatten the list, we can easily do it using normal lambda expression. So for that, I'm just giving toEnumerable here. So after toEnumerable method, we can use normal lambda expressions. So what I'm doing is dot select many is such that a dot province list dot select be such that new. Now I'm dynamically creating a new list with the values we need, like first we need country ID, then a dot country code, then a dot country name, then b dot province ID, then b dot province name. Okay, so now we are creating a new list dynamically with these many elements: country ID, country code, country name, province ID, province name. Now I will show you how it looks like. So this will be a flattened list. Now I will show you how it works. Yes, now the result, in the result we can see that the count is equal to 5. So we have totally 5 provinces. Okay, so here you can see US country code US, we have United States. So I'm just opening here. Yeah, see US and the country ID of US, then United States, and California is the province name. This is the province ID of California. Now I'm opening the second one. Here again you can see US, United States, and the province name is Texas. Now the third one, again US, then the province name is Florida. So we have 3 provinces under US and 2 provinces under UK. So the next one, it is showing UK, and the province name is Scotland, and the fourth one, again UK, and the province name is Wales. So this is how we can use this lookup function to join 2 collections. So hope you got the logic. If you have any doubts, please comment to the video. We will be replying as soon as possible. So hope you enjoyed the video. Please like the video, and if you have, please like the video and support us. So thank you all.